Today, we are going to talk about the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval. They sound very similar, but a lot of clients don't know the difference or the importance of one versus the other. So let's start off with a pre-qualification. This is the most basic version of telling you that you are pre-qualified or able to buy a certain purchase price home. And what a pre-qualification is I could be sitting here in a meeting with a client and they tell me I make $100,000 a year and these are my monthly debts, and it's all based on their word. So we have to go off of what that client is telling us and not actually verifying any of that information. So there are times when a client is so far from being ready to buy or wanting to buy that a pre-qualification is perfectly fine for them to just say, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm in the ballpark of making what I need to make in order to qualify for the monthly payment that this purchase price would give me. So again, this is for very early steps of home buying. If you're really serious about being ready to buy a home within, let's just say, the next 3 months, and you're actively looking at homes and wanting to make offers, you really want to take it to the next level and get a pre-approval. Now, a pre-approval means that you fill out an application and we verify everything. So we can start with a soft pull on your credit. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hard credit pull where it gives you an inquiry on your credit, but that soft credit pull still allows us to see where your credit score is and bring in those debts that are on your credit report. Now, the difference between a soft credit pull and a hard credit pull is we pull from one bureau, and for us, that's TransUnion. It could differ depending lender to lender. But that soft credit pull just brings in that credit score, and it usually gives us a good ballpark of where your credit sits. And we're able to see what debts are attached to your credit. So we can get a good idea of where your debt to income ratio is with that soft credit pull. And when we're doing a pre-approval, we're also going to request your W-2s, your pay stubs, your bank statements, all of the things that make this process kind of a pain, but it needs to be done in order for us to say you are absolutely qualified to buy this home. And it gives us the ability, when you're ready to make offers, we can call that listing agent and say, this is a really strong offer, and we have verified every part of what's needed to qualify. So on our team specifically, we have a team dedicated specifically to pre-approvals. So that is all that that team focuses on, is pre-approving our clients and making sure that we have a really strong pre-approval process. So sometimes when you have variable income, let's say you get bonuses or commission, and there are certain times when if your commission has been decreasing over time, we're not able to use that income. So this will allow us to, again, not only verify that you make the amount that you are saying that you make, but it allows us to look at the income that we can actually use for the mortgage process. I know sometimes it feels like we're just being mistrusting when you're going through this process, but that's not the case. We do believe you, but on our side, we have to verify and follow so many guidelines in order to make sure that you are actually qualified for a certain purchase price. So the next step above a pre-approval would be a fully underwritten approval. Now, what that means is typically when you are pre-approved and you go under contract on a home and you're now in the loan process. So now we can start actually working on your file. The first step of that loan is to go through underwriting. So underwriters go through your file with a fine-tooth comb and they look at any red flags, anything that needs an explanation. Maybe it's a large deposit in your bank account, but they're looking at the very, very small details of your file. So if you are absolutely ready to buy, and let's say that you have a hard timeline to buy in 2 months, and you find a home that you really want, and there's multiple offer situations, and it's a very competitive market, what we'll do is actually send your file through underwriting before you're ever under contract on that property. And what that allows us to do is actually go to the listing agent and say, we don't even need a finance contingency in this offer. They are not just pre-approved, but they're fully approved. So if you want to take your offer strategy to the next level, we can always take that next step and send it through underwriting. But the one thing we do ask is you have to be fully bought into using our team because we are paying for those resources to send you through underwriting. So it's not free, but it's something that we do invest in our clients and make sure that you have a really strong offer if you're as serious about it as we are. So those are the different levels of, let's say, pre-qualification to a fully underwritten offer. It just depends on where you are in the process and how ready you are to buy at any given time. But none of these are, let's say, better than the other. It's just a matter of your journey and where you're at right now. So regardless of where you are, a mortgage advisor should meet you where you are and what your current needs are. You should never be pressured into filling out an application, doing a hard credit pull. An application's not a bad thing. Again, it just gives us a chance to look at what debts are coming up on your credit, where your income is, and allows us to see those numbers really clearly. And then as we get that pre-approval, it's even more clear. And then fully underwritten is just the golden ticket to submitting offers. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. But that is the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval.